Welcome back, everybody, to another live stream with your host, Jada Black. And I know I didn't go live yesterday, but the topic that I was going to speak about yesterday, I'm going to speak about today. There was actually a couple different ones. But I didn't want to go live unless my energy was in the right place. And it just wasn't yesterday. But it is today. Okay. Hold on, people. Hold up. Hold on, people. Let's see. Okay. All right. Let me get the sound right. But yeah, that was a topic that I was going to do. This was the topic that I was going to do yesterday. As you can see, we're going to respond to this today. Okay? We're going to talk about that. But make sure y'all like the stream. All right? Shout out to the moderators and the members, you know. Shout out to Ill Wills, super chat. Yes, sir.
I might actually learn something.
Okay.
Salute, Jay. Good to see you back in the building, bro.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. Let's see. D-Stroke, Israel, Primetime, Lando, True, Cyclone, Be Smooth, Coco J, Young Manhood Channel was good. Hattie, Terry Good, Space Coop, Shy, Richard, D-Map, Dion, Tech Nerd, K Nicole, Johnny, J Cool, I'm him, Obi, JoJo, Mellow Bird, Chris G, Millions, 804, Ill Wills, Justin, Sovereign, Triple X Jedi, Sean, Desiree was good, John Mark, Sean, Bella Michelle was good, Lariah, Braylon, Ocean, what's up? Lara, what's good? Ray, Arthur, what's up? Shazam, Gemini, John, was good? Yeah, let's keep the likes coming. It lets people know that I am here so I can get recommended. But yeah, this is going to be in response to a video where melanated women, was good old GLD, they want to know whether we're protecting them or not. They want to know if we are doing a good enough job of protecting them. Can you believe that? They want to know if we are protecting them enough, you know? Are we failing them? And I believe it's a show from Claudia Jordan. It's good, George. No, Anthony, I have not done a video on that. Y'all got to understand, what you see on the channels was there. If certain things aren't posted here or posted on my Jada Black channel, I haven't done a video on it. And it's just topics that I may not get to. I just won't. But here we have 40-something-year-old melanated women speaking about why we need to be more accountable. the things that we are doing wrong. In the meantime, they are not taking any accountability for their role and why relationships don't work out. I mean, these are women who have the resources and for years have been in the entertainment industry. They traveled all over the world, but they are still looking at us as if we are the reason why they're not happy. And one of these women is married that I know of. And y'all know what's crazy? Why is it that the married women are more like bitter and jaded than the single women are? We are supposed to be accountable. We are men. We're supposed to, have a standard, right? I understand that. But you're having a conversation with 4 women who are not just your average everyday women who just work regular jobs. They haven't left their city. These women have traveled everywhere. They could have dated men from a lot of different places. But they still are talking about protection. What type of protection are you talking about? Black men have had years of just degradation of their masculinity. Growing up in single parent households. No father figures. And we're asking about protection. When if you were to ask any dispatcher in different police precincts around the country, if you ask them who's calling into your station the most, who do you think they're going to say? Since we want to talk about protection, who's calling the police and who are they calling the police on? I've seen women threaten to call the police on dudes because they thought it was funny, just to see how he'd react. You know? But we gonna get into this video. All right. So let's go.
Is it the woman's fault?
Or the man's fault.
Or the man's fault, which is a very good point. I think it's cyclic. But I have to blame it first. No shade, men, but it's y'all fault first.
That is all shade. That is all shade. What are you talking about?
Because if you go all the way back, we didn't create this. We didn't create the misogynistic ideology of having to use our bodies to get stuff. We didn't create that. You all created that. We actually couldn't even vote. We couldn't even talk. We was tied up in clothes from our neck all the way to the floor.
True.
It was after, it was the way that they treated us, the way that men have put us in a predicament where we have had to utilize our assets to get things. And
I guess what she's saying is that they went to utilize
Marriage and
selling
relationships
themselves.
are dead
Know what I'm saying?
because of their actions. They need to move on and teach the younger women what not to do.
Appreciate that, Harambe. Yeah, it's just off the bat. It's you. It's your fault. Now, mind you, Selena Johnson is a renowned singer, again, who's traveled everywhere. If these men are such a problem, why do you deal with them? You have access to your box. You have to choose the type of men you allow to sleep with you. But the problem is these women were so caught up on the looks, the swag, how many hoes these guys have. They were so caught up on that next thing you know, they're older. And they done been through this relationship, that relationship, and nothing has changed. They're right where they're at. They're starting over. You know, how do you expect men to take accountability when you have women who have resources like they do, who still choose to deal with the same type of men who they know are no good for them? you know, who they've been warned about, you know. Shout out to Young Man Hood.
Made this, that has perpetuated this mindset. And so now it has spawned in all these different forms.
Yes.
And now it's
These
just
women can only be examples of
can
what
we
not to
stop
be.
it? Yeah, because you have women like, you know,
Exactly,
you have
Young
women on the
Manhood.
call, all these women on the call right here that don't do that and know that they don't need to do that. But then our mothers, some of our mothers are not, and I have to blame mothers a little bit, because our mothers are harder on the women and they treat the boys like they baby fatter boys.
Can I say this?
You know, there is truth to that. There are women who are mothers, especially if they're single mothers. They do baby their sons. They do. Like, I know y'all heard about the woman who threw her son a party with the Scrippers, and this boy is like 14 years old. You know, these single mothers are raising their sons to dress and act like the men that they date. You can tell a lot about these women by how they dress up their sons, about how they treat their sons. You know, are men to blame for that as well? For how these women are throwing stripper parties for their 14-year-olds? Is that men's fault too? Shout out to D-Stroke.
Selena, I used to say this all the time, that I believe that a lot of women, they raise their daughters, but they love their
Yes.
Say what?
And so,
What'd you
and
say
they're
to my
not-
father?
I said
That
they
are a lot of
raise their daughters.
QUAINZ out there.
We back. I'm here. Yo, give me a 1 in the chat room if you can hear me. Give me a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Had a quick interruption. Yeah, man. When they be getting to the gist of it, they want to stop. They did the same thing with the stream I did the other day. Shout out to Ray Arthur, man. Okay, we good. We good. All right. Like the stream too, man. Yeah, we here. All right. Now let's get back to some more illogical talk. Hold on.
I was threatened by a woman and her roommate that she will call the police on me, saying I broke in a week after the fact, but she gave me access and I came to help her.
Wow.
That backfired on her.
Well, that's crazy, and I'm glad it did backfire. But that will happen. Women will call the police just for the littlest thing, just to threaten you with. So I'm trying to figure out what type of protection are you asking for if every time you get into a situation with a guy, you want to call the police on him. You get into an argument, you're going to call the police. He won't leave your house. You want to call the police. You know, he driving your car. You want to call the police. He says something you didn't like to a family member. You're going to call the police.
Like for me, like, and I know I have friends that are daddy's girls, and I have such an admiration of that. Like I have an admiration for that, because I have a whole father who was a whole singer, and everything I got from him mostly. Yeah. And I have absolutely no relationship with him. And my mother raised all of us, because it's all girls, real tough. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So we're not.
Wait a minute. Your father gave you everything, but you have no relationship with your father? And your mother raised you tough. Could it be is because you are your father's daughter, and maybe she wanted y'all out of the house as quickly as possible? Because that happens. All right, let's see. All right, can I get it to play?
Sometimes, and in my relationships with men, because this is my second husband, you know,
Second husband.
In the relationships with
Second
men,
husband.
yeah, I'm not trying to be Elizabeth Taylor R&B, but in relationships
Second
with
husband.
men, I have been unable at times to be soft. And in the business, we were taught by our moms, be hard, take it, be strong, don't let them see you cry. You know, that they have taken our God-given actual right to be feminine, to be soft, to be ladies, to be women. We have to kind of buck up all the time to get people to take us seriously. And some of that has bled into my relationship. So then when that happened to the man, now he like, oh, she acted like a diva and a bitch. And then he'll go and cheat on her or beat her to try to diminish her so that he can have some control. So I feel like it's cyclic, but I do feel like the men.
So whose fault is that you lost your femininity? Is it your mother's fault? Your father? The men you date? So shouldn't you be looking at how you were raised and the fact that your mother raised you in a tough way as your lack of femininity? That instead of raising you to be somebody's wife, you know, she raised you to take care of grown men. Why is it that a lot of women overlook the way that their mothers raised them and they want to go point to the men that they date? Not even really their father. It's always the men that they dated that are the reason why they're not feminine. But if you were to ask them about their mothers, they would talk about how their mothers were hard on them. But they won't go into any detail because they don't want to blame their mothers. They don't want to hold their mothers accountable for that. It's always the men that they date. We are the ones taking away their femininity. But as they stated earlier in the video, they didn't have the right to vote. They had to dress very conservatively. But now you have all the freedoms in the world and you're still unhappy. And those women that couldn't vote and had to dress conservatively, a lot of them were married. A lot of them were feminine to their husbands. They weren't hard, you know.
Kind of kicked shit off, and then the mothers didn't do good with trying to. We didn't fight for our rights early enough. You know what I'm saying? So
like
it's
some
just
point that you made about that. I feel like Black women have never really had the luxury to be feminine, to be soft, because a lot of us, Lisa Ray, I know you had a really good relationship with your dad, and he was in your life, and a lot of us have not, and a lot of times, like, that's your first protector, right? So you out here in this world, no one's really protecting you. You don't have a big brother. You have to be like that to make it. You got white men making more money than you, white women, Asian men, Asian women, and then it's like you wonder why we like this.
Hey, quick question: is Claudia Jordan biracial or not? Can y'all tell me in the chat room whether Claudia Jordan is biracial or not? And then she got Lisa Ray, who infamously said that she wasn't from the hood, but she used to drive past the hood all the time. That's Lisa Ray that wants to talk about black men, but she used to go right past that black community every day. Okay, so you got biracial Claudia Jordan talking about black men. Claudia, did you grow up in a black community? Like, seriously. It really annoys me when you have biracial women who sit amongst black women talking about what black men are doing or not doing. But you're half in the community. I saw Claudia Jordan do a panel with dark-skinned women. I think they was talking about colorism. And there was this one black female, she was from Canada, and she mentioned how she's dating a white man and that's her white king, and had all those black women applauding it. This is the type of mindset that you're dealing with. And she was definitely pandering to those women, because Claudia knows that if they all walked into a club together, she's going to get more attention than them. So she had to make them feel as comfortable in that situation as possible. You know?
it's a tool of survival. It's a survival tool, right?
And you know what too, Claudia?
First of all, they took us. I was gonna say they took our dance from when they took us from Africa.
Oh my
I was
God.
just about to say
Because
that.
we celebrate life by dancing, and the movement is just movement of a feel good. They've taken that and made it something totally different, and not.
Oh, Lisa Ray. It had to be Lisa Ray who comes into the conversation talking about how, I guess, the quote unquote dominant society took the dancing from the African women and made it into something that it is today, that the majority of black women are doing, they're doing on their own. I guess they're not profiting enough from it. I don't know. But there's a shit ton of you sisters on social media dancing and twerking every chance you get. So what am I to take from that? Are you saying that the Caucasian chicks have done what you're doing and they're doing it better because they're profiting from it? Is that what you're telling me? Like you're talking about women that be struggling out here on the dating scene, according to them, and it's our fault.
Not artistic, because even in Jamaica, Jamaica know how to wind that thing, man.
Yes.
And it makes you go, whoa, how can I learn that? How can I be down? But now it got exploited in a way in which now we're like Bernie Mac said in Players Club, now the white woman has said the best thing that anybody heard, pay me. You know what I mean? And so
She had to reference the Players Club, man, because that's all people know her from, man. I thought she was trying to go away from that. I'm thinking that Lisa Ray, she's dating prime minister. She's marrying prime minister of countries. You would think she would bring something else more intellectual to the table. Oh no, she wants to talk about the Players Club because that's all we know her from.
Type of a ritual of let me do this for everybody as a show. Now it's a showpiece. It's dancing is for show.
Yeah,
and it's not for the art of it.
Sean Robbins says, bring back the adoration of black women.
Yes.
And I've said this a lot of times that I think black men and black people forget. Hello, Mr. Man, Mr. Black Man. We was getting beat and we were slaves equally. Like the master didn't say, oh, she a woman, so I'm not gonna beat her. We were beat the same. We were sold the same. We were separated from our kids the same. So I get sick of men acting like they're the only black men acting like they're the only ones that's going through it and the world is bad to them. Black women are almost like on the bottom of the bottom. As far as how they view us.
Well, not the black women in corporate America. The educated black women in corporate America, they look down on black men. They're always putting their accomplishments out there. They claim that they are the rising entrepreneurial class. They claim that they are too educated for black men. So how all of a sudden now you're saying that you're on the bottom and, you're where we're at? It's almost like it's selective. It's almost like selective outrage. It's selective outrage. Okay, this is the thing, people. I'm seeing that they're saying that the audio and video is copyrighted. So let me stop showing the video. I'm getting a copyright issue showing this video, which I think I knew would happen. So I'm gonna see if it's still that issue. But I think y'all get the gist of the video. Let me go ahead and y'all can go and check it out. I'm getting a copyright issue. So, god damn it, can't show the video. But y'all can go check it out though. I want to keep this stream up and going. I don't want to have to start back over. So y'all can go and check the video out there. All right. Now I'm going to say this, okay? I think y'all get the gist of the conversation. All right? But a lot of times, when we as melanated men are able to gain success, whenever we're able to make something of ourselves, come from nothing. People didn't believe in us. Women didn't want to date us. They thought we were lame, right? When we're able to make something of ourselves and we get to the pinnacle of success, that's when a lot of these types of women want to date us, And I understand that there are men out there, melanated men, who go after non-black women just because they just like non-melanated women.
I'll say this much. It's always slavery talk until Bradley rides in to save Shanae and Wanda rolling on the floor laughing.
Well, they're always going to bring that up. They're always going to bring that up because it's easy to bring up the ills of what we do. It's always easy to bring up how we as men are messing up. But when we make something of ourselves, it's almost like we owe them the debt of gratitude from the work that we've put in. And I just don't think that that's fair. You have guys out here who work hard and they're around people who aren't black. They attend schools where there are not a lot of black people. They work with non-melanated women, and those women do treat them differently than the women they've dealt with because those women are feminine. Those women know what they want. They want a man who is successful. They're not picky. The Claudia Jordans of the world, Lisa Rays of the world, even the Selena Johnsons of the world, they are very picky women. And because they are very picky women, they tend to choose the wrong guys for the wrong reasons. There are women who are hung up on things that are just silly to me. And that's through the programming, through the music, social media, which has these unrealistic expectations. This is why you have women out here who don't even need to get surgeries. They're out here getting surgeries because they're trying to look a certain way to attract a certain type of guy. But let me tell you what's going to happen when you're out here chasing, these guys who clearly don't respect you, who have no love for you, who are only going to use you. And when they're done using you, they're going to move on to another woman. That's just a fact. Okay? And that's why you would have women sitting up here blaming us, pointing the finger at us, instead of them looking at the choice that they made in their relationships. The fact that they only wait till they're in their 40s and, they're pretty much done as far as their careers or when it comes to the type of men that they've always given themselves to, because that's what happens in those situations. They give themselves to these men. And what I would want to know is why is it that you have so many women dating men they have to build up, men who are broke? I mean, if a guy can't afford to pay his own bills, live in his own house, drive his own car, why are you dealing with him? That don't make any sense to me. That doesn't make any sense to me. But it does to a lot of women. That's why I don't take any accountability, because in their minds, he should have had his shit together before they got together, even though you knew this about this guy. And you thought that because you think that you're smarter than everybody else, that you're going to make him into what you want him to be. And it never happens. You end up single again. I was looking at Angela Simmons' page. Well, she has some photos that went viral, a post. And she put up this post about, how she's proud of her natural body and how she didn't have to pay for it. And I know she was calling out the fake body females, but she looked very unhappy in those photos. And a lot of her recent photos, she never smiles, and some people are good at hiding their emotions. Some aren't. And you can tell a lot about people by their expressions. Like, you should be happy to be alive. You should be happy to be able to do what you love to do, live the life that you want to live. But a lot of times when women realize that they've made the wrong choices, it tends to linger in them to the point to where they're in their 40s talking about how men are the ones who need to change and how men are the ones who are messing up, how, men have to do better. They have to be more accountable. Y'all got to understand, they're not talking about the majority of men. They're talking about the 15 to 20% of men who most women chase. Those are the men they're talking about. And good luck trying to get those men to change. They're not. They've already gotten you twice over. They don't feel the need to change, And I think it's unfortunate that you also have married women who are sort of stuck in that rut. Shout out to Terry Good. They're stuck in that rut because of the fact that they have not been able to look themselves in the mirror.
Full score.
Full score. And listen, people, once again, I'm going to say this. I'm not telling anybody how to live their life. Live your life the way that you want to live it, but you have to be accountable for the decisions that you make. Say whatever you want about Steven Jackson, right? But the one big difference I've noticed with Steven Jackson and then with the women who talk about how men need to be more accountable is that he is being accountable for the decisions that he made. At least he's taking that step forward. There are a lot of women, they will not take accountability because they think because they have because of the what's between their legs, they think they don't have to be accountable, that there's always going to be a man out there for them, even though there's more men, there's more women than men. And there's a lot of women going after a small amount of men. So unless you're going to get into relationships where you're a sister wife, you need to understand that you need a guy who in the long term is going to be beneficial instead of somebody who just fits what you think a man should look like or what he should be. Because if that guy doesn't have his shit together, it's going to put you behind the 8 ball. It's going to set you back years. One decision can set you back years. You putting mileage on your body with the type of men you deal with. Mileage that you can't get back. No matter what you say or do, you can't get that back. Okay? I don't care how long you be celibate. If you've been screwing around with a whole bunch of different guys, casually or in relationships, and none of those relationships work, it's going to psychologically damage you. You may not know that is psychologically, damaging you, but it is damaging you. Okay? It really is. And I think that when you get to an age where you're basically close to hitting the wall, you're going to realize that. You may not realize it now, but you will realize it then. Okay? We have to stop playing this blame game. I'm not even blaming all women, for my experiences with women. I treat people on an individual basis because there's no template to judge everybody, through one lens. I wouldn't want people blaming, me for everything that goes on. Just like I don't think that you should talk about things if you have not taken the chance to be accountable for the decision that you made that didn't work out. I'm the type of person, I'm willing to say where I messed up at. I'm willing to be honest with myself and honest with other people. I'm not going to sit here and complain about all women. Now, there's some guys that do that. I think those guys are idiots if you sit there and try to blame a whole group of people for what women do on an individual basis. Now, can you say that there's a majority of women who go in a direction of singledom? Yes. If you look at the out of wedlock births, in the black community, there are a lot of women who are single mothers in the black community, and a lot of them are getting with the same guy. Like you got one guy with multiple baby mothers. Okay, We know this. I think that if you're happy, you're not concerned about what everybody else is doing. You're just not. You're not concerned about who's doing what. You're not concerned about protection, because first off, why are you complaining about men you don't know protecting you? You should worry about your husband protecting you.
Scissor J, I agree.
Appreciate that, Era Black TV. Shout out to you. Shout out to Chief Rocker.
Peace, bro. So will all of the Instathought City girl clones and housewives of blank take? That is why 3,040 women are beefing and are disgruntled.
I don't see it. Some are. Some women are starting to turn the corner and really be accountable, but a lot of them aren't, because again, because they have, because they are women and they have access, they give access to relations. They don't think that accountability is needed, because in their minds, there's always going to be a man who's going to choose on them. They believe that. They believe that until they get older and older and they're single and they're alone and men don't approach them the same way. You know, men don't pursue them, especially the men they want, don't pursue them the same way. That's when they'll have that epiphany. Now, it can be the epiphany of accountability or it can be of blaming. And if you are a woman who's relatively attractive, there should be no reason why you can't get a man who makes money, who's not broke, who's not destitute, who do not live off women. But those guys just don't have that extraness that women of today are looking for, because you have a lot of dysfunctional women out here who look for the wrong things in men because that's a turn on for them. You know, they're looking for what turns them on more than what's going to financially secure them and, that gives them that safety and security that they're looking for. You know? Men are starting to wake up more and more. And I think that's alarming to women who are not taking the chance to become accountable, you know? Desperados, right? We do have a lot of desperados out there. Man, you know, they're probably going to copyright this stream. I hope the stream will still be up, which really sucks, man. This has my mood not in the right place, because this is all in fair use, but fuck. I'm going to take a few phones. I'm not going to take as many calls I did yesterday, so I'm going to take a few calls. Don't stay on the line, because you're going to shorten these calls. All right. Call in, talk to me. What you have to say? Both audio and video. They did that to the stream I did the other night, because I think one of the songs I played. All right. Take a few phone calls. Really be smooth? Yo, you live. What's up?
Yeah.
What's going on, man?
Not much. This is David in San Bernardino.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. I had to call in. I'm retired now.
Okay.
I used to be a DNA forensic scientist.
Okay.
And let me tell you something. because I've kind of seen both sides to this. You know, when I was younger, I would have my little old jobs as a cook or whatever. And, you know, I would meet women and they wouldn't challenge me on anything. You know, as long as I was a cook, they okay with that. But when I finally got my degree and I was making over 6 figures, I can't tell you how many times I would have women run up on me, and when they found out that I was educated and making it, they would go hostile on me.
Wow.
And I'm talking about black women. The first thing out their mouth would be something like, "Oh, you must think you something, or you think you special." You know, from that, I mean, it really gave me a complex for a while because I started to stop telling black women what I did because they would just go hostile on me. It just seemed like they were determined to belittle and berate me.
Wow.
And after a while, I just said, forget this madness. You can get mad all you want, but hey, I am what I am. I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm not going to let nobody like you in my life because you ain't nothing but a wrecking ball looking to tear somebody down.
Right.
So you got a lot of black women out there because of this situation. They really don't know how to act around a successful black man. So when they come up with
it's like a competition thing.
Yeah, it's a competition thing with them. And they wonder why they can't get a good black man. It's because of, you know, just like what the one woman said, that her mama raised her to be tough, to be all, you know, be these things where she raised her son to be soft. I'm like, well, you describing what Willie Lynch did. So it sounds like to me the first thing you need to do is realize that you practicing some stuff that comes out of slavery, and you need to change. You need to recognize that your mama might have messed you up and made it impossible for you to get that man that you really are looking for.
Yeah, and they don't hold their mothers accountable. It's just they point the finger at everybody, including the father, who probably was pushed away by the mother, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, now that I'm older, I'm beginning to see that some of these young brothers are waking up. I had one friend, his mother basically did that to his father. And when he graduated from college, she walked up to him, "Oh, my baby is a lawyer now." And he looked her straight in the face and said, "Look here, I know what you was doing to Daddy. I know you was trying to keep us apart, and you was making things difficult for him. If I see you again before Jesus comes, it'll be too soon." And he then walked over to his father that was there and said, "I would like to now have a relationship with you."
Wow.
And I've seen that happen a couple of times. And I've said these women, they really don't realize that these kids are waking up nowadays and they see what's going on. They see what mama's doing to daddy. And they, you know, once they get old enough, they ain't no longer going for it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, man.
Like I said, you were saying?
No, go ahead.
I was saying, I was just gonna say, you know, these women, they may not want to recognize what they're doing, and I don't know what we can do to wake them up to realize that, yeah, there's some bad brothers out there, but they running after those bad brothers because I think they feel more comfortable around them, whereas those black men that are doing stuff, their little insecurities are, you know, have got them intimidated to where they just, you know, they start running up on those brothers, treating them like Pookies and Ray Rays.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, I gotta go, but I appreciate the call, though, bro.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, man. Thanks for the call, man. All right.
All right.
All right, you too, man. Shout out to the Cali, bro. Oh shit, my Skype just fell apart. Was any of y'all trying to call? Yeah, you're live with Jada Black. What's going on?
Yo, what up, Jay, man?
Nothing much, man. What's up?
I want to say this, start this off first off, man. And I know there might be some women in the chat that may be like, oh my God, when I say this, but whenever you see a video of 3 or 4 or 5 women sitting around talking about some shit, 9 times out of 10 they don't know what the hell they talking about. And that video was an example of that. You know what I mean? Like black women just have a problem with accountability, and I think some of it has to do with because of, the men out here. It's a lot of a lot of guys that are very blue pill that just go along with the flow. You know what I'm saying? Let that woman do whatever she wants to do. And in her mind, she thinks that all men are supposed to act like that. So when they get around another guy that ain't going for that shit, they here come the shaming tactics. I mean, shaming words like phrases and words like, "Oh, you're a misogynist," or "You don't like women," and "You hate women," or blah blah blah. It's like, nah, that man just doesn't worship you. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna put you on a pedestal. You know what I mean? And it's just bad. It's just crazy how just black women just really don't like to be held accountable. But honestly, it's up to us as men to start holding them accountable, because they're just gonna keep doing whatever it is that we allow them to do. Because honestly, let's just keep it real. Like, a lot of women are very immature, so you gotta kind of like treat them like a kid at times and get them back in line when they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, and that's why it's tough for them to have accountability.
Yeah, exactly. And and what makes it worse for a woman, she's definitely not gonna have no accountability the higher up the corporate ladder she climbs, because like the caller said before, or I think you said it before, that a lot of those women, they tend to compete with men that are in that like field or whatever. Like, they don't really know how to submit, and they don't really want to submit. And I think some of it has to do with they just don't. Some of these girls, they don't have a father in their life, so they really don't have respect for just male principles. And they also be up under their mamas, and their mamas just be dogging every man, dogging their daddy. You know what I'm saying? And that messes them up psychologically, you know what I'm saying? So they already have like a wall up towards every man, that they come across, you know what I mean? And it's just really sad, but women just gotta start taking more accountability, because like you said, man, men are waking up, man, and they're not gonna keep going along with stuff just because, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, bro. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. Red pill up.
Red pill up, man. Shout out to you for the call, man. All right. Yeah, make sure y'all like the stream too. Let's get likes up. The more likes, the more views. At least that's supposed to. Yeah, you're live with Jada Black. What's up?
What's up, JD Black? Hey, it's Randy Rob. I'm out of Kanye, Georgia.
Hey, what's up, man?
All right. My whole take on this, I'm 32, single, no kids. My upbringing was the same thing that I experienced. Me seeing how life is with these women today, they're too superficial. Most dudes don't go out there like, oh, I want a dime piece. For my opinion, I don't look at that all the time. Yeah, a chick can have an ass, hits, and all that shit, but what do you have inside your character? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make it simple. It's like a car, right? A dude has 30 grand to get something full price. Most chicks come out like new cars, right? The moment you come out the lot, their value started to depreciate.
Right.
So as you put more mileage, aka, picking the bad guys, you're going through man for man in your early teens, your 20s, and your 30s. By the time you hit a certain age value for your vehicle, what dude is gonna put full price on the used car that never didn't care about no maintenance, no self-service? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of chicks don't understand how you act around dudes gonna make it go towards you. You know what I'm saying? I experienced that. I was in the Army for 11 years.
Okay.
I've been through, and I've experienced plenty of women that act like that. You ain't got this, you ain't got that. I came to realize that the shit don't really matter. Cause when you get old, this shit ain't gonna keep working. You know what I'm saying? But I tell my friends and a couple of people I hang out with, hey, you gotta do what's best for you. You might not have a PhD or a bachelor's. They don't define you. You know what I'm saying? For my case, I'm disabled from the military, but I'm stopped for life. You know what I'm saying? But I don't go bragging about it. As long as I know my main necessities are paid, that's all that matters. And too many chicks look at what you have, but they don't look at what's past it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they really have a backwards mindset of what they want for a guy. You know?
Yeah, but it seems like you're
Stuff
doing
like
good in
that.
life. That's the only thing that matters.
Yeah, that's all that matters, you know? And like, I experienced heartbreak, I experienced all kind of stuff, you know, shaming tactics. Oh, you this, you ugly. Okay, look, I may be ugly, but guess what, goddamn it? At least my shit is on time before the due date, and I make sure my ass is 100%, man. And I just want dudes to understand, and out there, they listening. Don't matter. 6 years, you never put them on a pedestal. Cause once you do, they know that you like them. 9 out of 10, they're not gonna give you the attention back. So it's best to be like, all right, whatever, you know. They glance around, saying my birthday coming around. You ain't obligated to pay shit. So you as a man, no matter how fine she look, you ain't obligated to pay nothing. If she's willing to like you, then you fall back. Don't fall for her. When that works, when that does that, it doesn't work out majority of the time. So you, as a man, you know, you have to do for you. You know, it goes back to the parents. My mom used to shame me. You're just your daddy. He ain't shit. Okay, he wasn't perfect. He wasn't perfect. But at the end of the day, he kept his job, retired. I'm his only child, so he retired. He living lavish, and he, you know, he ain't balling base like he's comfortable. You know. But I looked up to him because he wasn't a perfect father, but I was glad to have him in my life. You know, to make me put myself on the right track. He talked to me and told me, don't do certain things that I did. Don't make the same mistake that I did with women or vice versa. You know, he was kind of abusive, but I understood it. And I understood my mom's and dad's concept. But at the same time, I listened to both, but I don't take both of their advice. Because, like, I take little pieces, you know. There's certain relatives I looked up to for advice. My dad, too. But at the end of the day, it's like you have to look at your parents' mistakes to see what they did and when it came to what they were going for and stuff like that. My mom had a problem taking dudes. My dad, not really. Okay, he had me. But dude just gotta understand, no matter what you do in life, do what you can do that's best for you. Somebody will come, it's gonna come for me, but at the end of the day, you just gotta be focused on you. Get your credit right, get your finance. I ain't talking about being a billionaire and all this, because you got a short amount of time in life to even get that. But be financially stable for yourself before you get involved in anything. That's one thing I learned in my time in the Army.
Worry about yourself first. Yeah, that's all you can do, focus on yourself. The women will come, you know.
All right, no problem. All right, Jay, man, good looking out, man. Hey, keep doing what you're doing, man.
All right, thank you, man. Good call. All right.
All right.
Shout out to brother there. So he's working on himself. It's good. Yo, you live. What's going on?
What up? Nothing much, man. Listen, to answer the question, bro, I'm gonna say it like this. And for y'all dudes in the comments, say something. Just hear me out real fast. Hear me out. I do blame the dudes, but I'm gonna tell you what. I blame the dudes because it's just like, bro. I'm not blaming them in the negative way. I'm blaming them in like the way that it's like it's on us. And it's like we finally showing that we have standards, like men, or you know what I mean. Like you got a lot of sense, but it's a lot of dudes saying I'm not gonna deal with no dysfunctional ass broad. I'm gonna just handle my business and go on with life and just have buzz down. Because this is the thing. Something I noticed about women, especially women in our culture, bro. They always talk about what we haven't did to undermine the stuff that we do. Like that's how she was talking about the economic thing. You gotta think about it like this. Black people were enslaved. We in a world, in a system already that's oppressive to us anyway. Like before the white people get their panties in the butt, I know it ain't everybody, but it's a lot. and I'm gonna keep it brief, Jay, but I'm saying like you can't expect somebody who the first fire and the last hire to just everybody a millionaire. It don't work like that. You got a lot of black dudes that's decent dudes, but it's like y'all don't be taking with them when y'all young, and then when y'all get older, y'all like to lump them in with the failures that y'all chose. So you can't get mad. I blame the dudes because we finally have. You got some dudes that have standards who don't want to deal with the BS. We don't want to deal with baby mamas and girls who've been ran through and all that. Bro, we ain't got time for that. Man, look, I gotta tell you what happened yesterday. I'm gonna keep it brief though. So you know, with the bank things or whatever, you're not really supposed to go in. But I had went to this bank and had made a little membership or whatever. You have to go in to do it. Now, Jay, check this out. It was a white dude and this black intern lady they had. Now, the white dude sitting on my account, all this. I spoke to both of them. I'm like, how y'all doing? White dude spoke. You know, the black girl just looked at me and didn't even speak. Now, check this out.
Yeah.
Every time the white dude said something, made a joke, she and I'm just like, whoa, she one of those. Now, check this out. When I told because I told you I did that let her business or whatever. I told him I'm putting 4 racks in my bank account. So as I said that, her eyes lit up. I said, this bitch right here. So when I got her to leave, she was like, oh, what's your name? What's your name? I was like, ma'am, I need you to know this. I'm a red pill. Like, that's all I said, and I just walked up.
Right, yeah.
I just kept it moving. It's just like the jail, cause I'm a hood dude, Jay, but I don't be I'm finna kill this nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like I wear Timbs, like, but I keep, you know what I'm saying? I'm about my business. Like it got through a point where like with women, bro, it's like if you ain't on my program, I just can't take you serious. And I want to shout out every single man who has standards and who about his business. Shout out to y'all, and I'm gonna say one more thing, and that's it.
All right.
So I did a little bit of research because I like to support my statements or whatever. Did you know it's 3 million more black women than it is black men in America, but black men are married more? So that tells y'all who the problem is. It's not the men. It's not the men.
I've seen those similar stats, man. Okay, cool. I appreciate the call. But yes, I definitely have seen those stats, man.
Yep. All right. Don't talk about that 50% herpes rate, nigga.
I've been on.
Shout out to you, man.
All right.
Hey, appreciate that, Hakeem Jones. Shout out to you, man, with that super chat. Yo, you live. What's up?
Yo, it's Ray.
Yo, what's good, man?
Not much. To piggyback off of one of the callers, the thing is that these women nowadays, they're acting like a Nissan dealership. They acting just like that because Nissan's saying that, oh, why the older model cars, people are buying a lot of those, but the newer ones, people don't want. I'm like, maybe you need to go back and see what works and see why the newer ones are basically made out of paper clips and bubble gum.
Okay.
So they need to do some self-reflection. And what he was talking about with these women, they were getting on these men about not having certain things.
Right.
At a specific time. I'm like, well, you didn't have any of this where you got out of school or got out of college or anything like that. And when these men end up actually acquiring these things, next you know, you want to insert yourself like a Lego piece.
Yeah.
After you've been ran through.
Hey, bro, your sound is going in and out, man. Your sound is going in and out.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
But yeah, after you've been ran through, have different kinds of owners, just like a used car. You think a guy is gonna pay Corvette money for Geo Metro? I don't think so. So if they need to start catching up, because since a lot of men are starting to opt out, it's either one you figure it out now, or life is gonna hit you like an 18.
Women are equally to blame, passing up
That's all I have to
quality
say.
men.
Okay.
But other than that, keep 100. I'll talk to you later, man.
All right, cool, man. Thanks for the call, bro. All right.
No problem.
All right, shout out to you, man. Shout out to Abby with the super chat. Yo, you live. What's good? Hello?
Oh yeah, is this Jada Black?
Yeah, this is Jada Black. What's going on, man?
Yeah, I think so yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so basically yeah, I mean I think all men deal with it. I've dealt with like toxic women who don't want to hold themselves accountable, and basically, it kind of broke me down because you might really care for a female, but she doesn't want to be rational or want to be logical. But a lot of men, including myself, we're just walking away. And we're focusing on ourselves, focusing on our finances. And I want to say to a lot of dudes in the chat, what I had to understand was, bro, you have to stop caring and just really actually go your own way, like we say, MGTOW. And like I don't care about what these women complain about or what they because it's all manipulation. They say one thing but they do another. I had a toxic women in my life gaslighting me, all this nonsense. And so I said, that was enough. I got other women. I was dating other women at the time too, but I actually picked up for that particular one. But yeah, man, go your own way. Stop caring about what these women complain about because they're not changing anything with themselves. And focus on yourself. Go your own way. Next time, go your own way.
Right.
And that's all I gotta say.
All right, cool, man. Thanks for the call, man. Shout out to him. Caller says, go your own way. Don't focus on what you can't control, which I agree with. But me being me, I'm definitely going to address these things because it's an annoyance. It's an annoyance. Numbers in the chat room. Yo, you live with Jada Black. What's up?
Hello, Jay. This is John from New York here.
What's good, John?
Jay, can I ask you a question?
Oh, what's that?
Have you noticed, women blame men in relationships? They blame men, even though it's not their fault. They blame you mostly for everything, and it's like no matter what you're trying to do, to make it right, make it peace, whatever. They still not happy. They're still not. They always want more of you.
Right.
And then sometimes it's like, how much can a man can take?
Yeah, well, until men they get the message that men have opted out and have options, they're gonna continue to say these things. I believe, until they start to realize.
The reason why I said that, Jay, is because I noticed a lot of divorces are coming up during this quarantine and stuff. And it made me wonder, what was the whole purpose of marrying, having a family, if you guys wasn't ready, if you guys wasn't, serious about marriage? Because to me, marriage is like commitment. You sign a commitment, you're supposed to be with that person, for a long time, even though I don't believe that personally. But it's like, why would you go to that extreme if you guys physically and mentally you're not that ready? If you guys want to have fun and you still want to do your thought ways or whatever. So I mean, I don't get it.
Women, they do things that a lot of us may not get. But I just dropped, so don't worry about that. But I think, again, if there's no accountability there, these type of things are going to happen. Okay.
Me personally, I think women in the 20s and 30s, whatever, they're not committed to marriage. I'm sorry, but that's not the right time for them to get married and start having family, stuff like that. Because you're still young, you still want to have fun, you still want to experiment, like some women call it, do all those things. And to me, it's like, why would you just do what you gotta do if you ready for that commitment mentally and all of that? Then you decided to get married, start a family, stuff like that. Because my grandmother and my other side of the family, her and her grandfather, they married for years. They had a strong relationship until my grandfather passed away. So their marriage was strong. My grandfather never messed around and had fights, all that stuff. He always stayed with my grandmother for years.
Yeah.
That's the old generation marriage. the traditional, marriages. I mean, these marriages today are not. I don't call it marriage. I call it like a piece of paper commitment. Stuff like a contract. So that's what I call it today.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate the call, man. All right. Thanks for calling in. All right. All right. Shout out to John with the call. Yo, you live. What's up?
Hi. So I wanted to be a lady that called in just to give some perspective.
Okay.
By the way, I am married.
Okay.
But, something that I talked to some of my friends about
Mm-hmm.
is that with women are sometimes in the mindset of the man has to do everything. The man has to do all the compromising.
Mm-hmm.
The man is the only person that has to put in work to make their relationship work. And I believe that that's a false narrative that women have put into their minds.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of blame men as well because men have to also hold women up to a certain standard. The same way women do it with men, men have to do it as well. So being the man, men are naturally more logical and the leaders. So why not say, hey, look, I'm not going to tolerate X, Y, Z, but this is how we can handle this. This is the idea or the process that we can go through to really have something that works in a healthy way. So that's just my input. I haven't heard a lady yet, so I wanted to call in.
Yeah, it's good because I want more women to chime in on this because a lot of guys are. So it's good to have, your perspective. You say you're married, right? So, your perspective is definitely can be heard here, because I don't want it to just be a bunch of guys just calling in. I just, that doesn't, it doesn't really get, it makes it, it makes it just seem like it's just a bunch of guys speaking on it and women just either not listening or they don't care,
Yeah, and women, we're naturally emotional, which is how women are, and men are built to naturally be more logical. Not to say that women, can't be logical, but it takes a man to really teach you that, to say, hey, let's pull emotion out of this and think about it logically, and that's a step that a lot of women, because I've been that way before I got married. So I missed that when I was younger. And when I met my husband, it was like, hey, we're going to break all this down and we're going to build our own foundation of how we're going to communicate in a healthy way and how we're going to uplift each other. And we both put in the work, we both make the effort. So it's on both parties. But the one thing is, to my women, it's not just the man that has to do work in a relationship. We have to do certain things. We have to compromise as well, because it's not just happy wife, happy life. I believe it should be happy spouse, happy house. So it should go both ways.
Yeah, I think that has a better ring to it. And it just, because both people should be happy in a situation, not just one.
Exactly.
Like, why do I have to appease you,
Exactly. But that was just my input.
Okay, well, it was a good input. I appreciate it, okay?
No problem.
All right. Shout out to her. Miss Married Lady there. Yeah, I like when ladies call in. I mean, I don't want people to think that it's, just for guys to call in. I want everybody to be able to call in. That's why I do these particular type of streams. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you live. What's up?
Yo.
Yeah, what's up?
Am I in?
Yeah, you live, man. What's going on?
Yo. Yeah, yo, what's going on? Name's Corey. Name's Corey from Toronto, Ontario. What's good?
What's good, Corey?
Not much, man. But all right, now I got something to say about this. These women who blame men for the shit they do. Sorry, excuse my language. Now, not only are these women delusional, but everything that feminism tells them, it's like they're destroying their brains by telling him stuff like this, I mean, how you going to blame all men, for it, especially the good dudes? I mean, you put down on the good dudes, but then you pick the bad boys and the troublemakers and all, trying to change them. And then you want the good dudes, and later on when you're in your late 30s, 40s, mid 40s, but then when they don't want you no more, they start cussing out at you or whatever and start talking down about, oh, I thought you always wanted me or all this other stuff, you know? Like, it's just ridiculous, you know, because it's like all this drama, everything that they watch on these reality shows, all this drama that they like, it's just ridiculous. I mean, this is the new modern time of women. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to say all women, you know?
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, but but I just want to give a message to all these guys out there. To all you men out there, listen up. Make sure you focus on yourself. You focus on your success. You build your way all the way up. You keep trying no matter how old you are. You work on your success.
Right.
And then when you build your success, you can get, and you have the money to get any type of woman that you like. And if these chicks, if they didn't give you the best years of your life, rather you was in high school, college, after college, somewhere in your 20s, whatever, don't be there for them, because the problem is when they try to get with you years later, they're just gonna, and they see what you have, they're gonna try to take advantage of you and try to turn you inside out while they go off and continue doing whatever behind your back. So all you men, just focus on you and don't ever just give those girls the cold shoulder. Don't focus on them type of chicks.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, Jade. Well, thank you very much. We love you here in Toronto. Keep up the good
Cool,
work, bro.
man. Shout out to you in Toronto, man. I appreciate it. All right.
All right, bro. One love, bro.
Shout out to the call. Love the energy. Yo, you live. What's up?
What's up, Jay? That's my first time ever calling in. How are you?
I'm good, man. Shout out to the first time caller.
Yeah, man. I just want to say first and foremost, I respect your content.
Thank you.
I respect your output, but most importantly, I respect your honesty.
Cool, man. Appreciate
I'm
it.
actually in the Army myself. I'm a first lieutenant.
Okay.
I'm actually in grad school as well. You know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
one thing I've had to learn doing this job is, accountability. I've had to learn a lot of lessons, man. One thing I had to learn, man, not just accountability, but also that you can't please everybody, man.
Yeah.
And
That's true.
you know what I'm saying? The biggest thing about women I've had to learn, man, is, you're not going to be able to please every woman. Not everybody's going to see you as, the most attractive person, because you got to be honest with yourself. But, I'm going to keep it brief. And like I said before, man, your content, man, I got to admit, I mean, the standpoint you're speaking from, I grew a lot of it, man. As a young man from Louisiana, I've seen that side of our culture, you know what I'm saying, where, things, just doing right get you labeled negative. It's unfortunate, but that's just the reality of a lot of things you do. You know what I'm saying? But again, I appreciate your content, man, and God bless. Take care.
All right, you too, man. I appreciate the call. Shout out to you, man. All right. Shout out to making big moves out there in the Army. Yo, you live with Jay the Black. What's going on?
How you doing, Jay?
Nothing much.
I'm 23, so I've been thinking about the future a lot, like where society going, and I'm jaded, or I accepted the fact that this is what it is, And a lot of things I see is I have never seen a woman check other women before.
I haven't either.
Yeah,
they get mad at us when we do it.
Ever. Yeah, and I work with a lot of women. I'm in the Navy, so I see a lot of things. I guess kind of like being in college, I guess, with money involved. So you see a lot of women, just people paying junior people, to have relations. And it's just I don't know, these girls be having boyfriends and stuff. It's how the world is.
Yeah, it's crazy out here. Some people do things and, they don't think twice about it, It's where we are now, especially women, but not all.
Yeah. But I just wanted to say thank you. I've been watching you for about 2 years.
Okay.
Year and a half, probably.
All right, that's cool, man. Okay, well, I appreciate the call. All right. Yo, you live. What's happening?
Hey, it's Mellow Bird. How you doing today?
What's good, Mellow Bird? I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing fine. I've been trying to call. I just got done running.
Yeah,
I've
man.
been
The
listening
callers
to
be
it
calling
since
in, man. They at the same time. That's how it be. But yeah, what's going on?
So I listened since the beginning, and
Mhm.
I gotta admit, those videos, they were pretty incoherent. I didn't really understand what they were talking about. Sound like a bunch of excuses.
Mhm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So I'm nowhere near 40. I'm only 27.
Okay.
But I already see it with some of the people I went to high school with.
Mhm.
It's a lot of taking your status for granted, I guess. When you're in high school, you're looking hot,
Yeah.
and you think you could just keep on going with that, and you could date whoever, date around, keep on going with that, and then when they get to those women's age, they're just completely confused.
Mhm.
And I mean, I can't really speak for why they are confused, but I do know that me personally, I came from a single mother household.
Okay.
And my mother, she did a very poor job.
Mhm.
And it's pretty much the statistics are pretty true about single mother households. They are very dysfunctional. And it all circles back around to when you're an adult, you're now in control of the decisions you make. You have to learn to stop blaming other people, blaming your child. I used to do that, like blame my childhood, but when I was in like late teens, early 20s, when I got around 23, 24, I realized I don't have to let any of that control me anymore.
Right.
And I can move forward and make better decisions on my own. I'm accountable for the things that happen to me.
Right.
And unfortunately, I think some of those women have people baby them, or they have people in their ear telling them that they're doing the right thing, and they have safety nets for so long that they don't have to look themselves in the mirror and see what the problem is, which is them. So that's all I had to say.
Oh, cool. Well, I appreciate that. It's a good perspective, you know. All right.
All right. See you later.
All right. Shout out to Mellow Bird with the call. All right. Yo, what's up? What's up? Hold up. Let me make sure the sound is right. Hold on a second. Make sure it's right. Oh, the speaker's on. I can't hear anything from your side. Why don't you call back in? Shout out to Illa Dre.
Shout out to Jay in the chat.
Alright. Let's get, I think my Skype acting up. But shout out to everybody that's here on this stream. That's it for the calls, man. I don't know what's gonna happen to the stream because it has a copyright on it. So I don't know if they're going to, because what happens with a copyright is they can basically take the audio out of the copyrighted material. Either you can just trim it out, or you can take the whole audio. So this stream may not have any audio in it, but we gonna see. I'm gonna have to appeal it. I'll probably win the appeal because it's all in fair use, and I didn't play the whole thing. This is why when we do video responses, we stop it, because if you play the whole thing through, it can be copyrighted, and they can take the whole fucking video down. Okay? Yeah, I can fight it. And that's probably what I'm going to do. So what's going to end up happening is this stream may not be live after it's posted because there may not be any sound in it initially until they can look at it and appeal it. But I will put up a stream clip. If I have to take this stream down, I'll just put up a stream clip probably tomorrow. It depends. But yeah, man, we live. Shout out to everybody that's been supporting. Shout out to Curtis with the PayPal. Curtis with the PayPal supporting the stream. Shout out to the super chatters and the callers, man. Illa Dre, Joe Black, Abby, Hakeem, Era Black, Chief Rocker, Terry Good, D-Stroke, Ray, D-Stroke, Young Manhood, Harambe Ill Wills. I appreciate that support, man. All right. I will be back tomorrow live at the same time I was today, so make sure y'all here. If there's any topics that I should see that you may want to see me do tomorrow, y'all got to hit that email and just say live stream topic, not video topic, live stream topic, so we know it's for certain. Also, check out the video today I did on my other channel, my Jada Black channel, about Kendall Jenner. I think you find the video hilarious. If you haven't, y'all can go and check that out. And yeah, this was a very good show, man. Hopefully, everybody's returning back to work. I know I have family members who've been working or returning back to work as of this week. Let's get this country open so people can get back to work. 30 million people are unemployed. That's a travesty. Okay? That's a travesty. That's a travesty, man. But you know, again, if you want to stay in the house and not do anything, you're more than welcome to do that. Okay? Let's go with that. Interesting name. Yeah, summer is gonna be wild, you know. All right. So hopefully the stream is up and I don't have any issues, man. And they can play. I would hope so. But again, I'll see y'all in the next one. Y'all have a good rest of your afternoon, and I'll see y'all on the next one, which will be tomorrow.
Said he holding black vote hostage.